Welcome to this post-race press conference for the penultimate race of the 2016 MCE Insurance British Superbike Championship. Congratulations to all of our guys on the podium. We can start with JG Speedfit Kawasaki's race winner from yesterday and third place today, Pete. It's turned into a great weekend for you.
Yeah, I quite like the press conference yesterday, so I thought I'd have a bit of a dig so I can have a talk again.
Just summarise the race for us. Conditions different from yesterday.
Yeah, different but still sketchy. Yesterday was hard work because it was so slippy. Today was slippy because we're all on slicks. The dry line at places like Druids and Hawthorne, where the tarmac's really dark, it's really hard to tell where it was dry and actually where it was wet. And the dry line was probably only 6 inches across at the start of the race in a few places. So I think everyone had a few spin-ups and a few little moments here, there and everywhere. But it was nice to be at the front and out of the way of most of the kind of middle of the pack chaos. So I made a pretty good start. Actually touched James going through turn one, which wasn't wasn't ideal, but I went back to about fourth, and then I just sat there for most of the race. Was really happy. The bike worked really, really well, and I was just about 3/4 of the race, lap 14, 15. I started to actually close the front three in. And there was a point where I thought, right, I can actually have a real good go at this. We might end up properly fighting for the win even. And then I don't know, made maybe a little bit of a mistake somewhere, and I just kind of dropped back a bit too much. And I thought, right, I'm just going to settle for fourth. I had I think an 11-second gap over fifth. And then obviously Christian had a problem, so a bit of a shame for himself. He was riding really well. Looked like he actually made a mistake, dropped back, and then caught the two guys back up again. So he obviously had the pace to be at the front. So sorry for him, but obviously his loss was my gain. And I'm fighting for this 7th in the championship. I'm not sure if I've quite got it. I might just about have it now. I was 11 points in front, so that'll go a long way to helping. So just if I get that, I'm over the moon. That's the aim. After missing out on the showdown by very slightly, to be able to get over 200 points in a year is the first time I've got over 200 points in 1 year. So I'm really, really happy with that, and just looking to try and make things right for the end of the season, and then obviously try and get myself a nice factory ride for 2017.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Pete. Great work. We'll look forward to seeing you in race 3 of the weekend, race 2 of today. Turning to, and it's a very warm welcome back to the podium and to the press conference. This is ePay Me Yamaha's John Hopkins. And Hopper, it's been a while getting here, but you're there, and as Pete was saying, sketchy conditions out there. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was extremely sketchy. I mean, I came from, I think I was third row, and got a good start. Jumped in straight into third place, I think, right front row seat to Hickey and Ellison's little moment there. But, it was just clinging onto the back of James, and, I made a little bit of a move on Christian at the beginning of the race. Hopefully I didn't, I think he was there for most of the race, so, I didn't knock him too hard. But, it was just a matter of keeping the bike upright, just trying to keep it on the dry line, and trying to work out where I might be able to pass if possible. And I lost a little bit of space about mid-race to about 3/4 of the race to James, and then he had a couple big moments along with myself. That's where I lost most time, was when I had a massive moment out of Druids, and literally a 2-wheel slide, which went into like a high side. I thought for sure I was off, but luckily I kept it on board, and and then luckily, well, for myself, James had a couple moments which brought me back into him, and then going into the last lap, I was pretty much in defensive mode, just wanting to remain in second and obviously finish the race on the podium. And then James had a big moment on the last lap, so I was like, I might have a go here for the win, and I went for it. And then by that time, James had just outbroke me just by a bit, and then that was it. Like he just tucked in, and I'm just like, all right, I just want to finish thing on the podium. It's been such hard work getting here, and this is just a matter to pay Tommy Hill back and all the ePay Me Yamaha team. I mean, I'm so thankful, that they employed me this year, and it's just been so frustrating because we've had all the components to be right there at the front all year long. We just never have seemed to have made it work on race day. So, to do it today, I'm really happy, and it's just, to repay the team. They've been working their butts off all year, and I'm just happy to be here on the podium finally, and well done to James and Hickey.
Yeah, we're happy to see you here too, John. Congratulations on a fine second place. We look forward to seeing you in the second one.
Cheers.
John Hopkins, turning to race winner. It's been a long time coming for this race win this year, but it's finally there, James Ellison. How's it feel?
Awesome, if I'm honest. I've never won at Brands Hatch big circuit either. I've had pole positions here, I've led races here, snapped my leg here, been over the tyre wall, been in some trees, but I've never won it. So you know, it's a nice feeling to walk away from here in one piece, and especially after the crash yesterday. You know, it was a pretty big one, and feeling a bit knocked about this morning. Been to see the physios, everything's all right. So yeah, just kind of stretched off a little bit. Started off the day well in the wet, you know, because I thought it was going to be wet. So we made some big changes to try and keep the rear on the ground, which was the issue we had yesterday. And then it dried out. So if I'm honest, I wasn't sure where we were going to be. I knew we had decent pace in the dry, but I didn't know whether we had winning pace. But those kind of conditions there, I feel really comfortable with because I'm quite a smooth rider and very kind of relaxed when it's like that. So I knew if I could just get up the front, me and my brother had a chat on the grid, and I know it's a race tactic for any grid, get in the lead and stay there, but it was kind of like, look, if you can get in front, you can kind of pick your own lines and let everybody fight behind. That nearly came to a head at turn 1 when I tipped in front of Pete. We kind of clipped a little bit, but thankfully we both stayed up, and you know, it's good to see him up here on the podium again. So yeah, it was just it was a fun race, if I'm honest. It was really nerve-wracking race. It's patchy out there everywhere. There isn't so much of a dry line through everything. It's dry then wet, so you're constantly kind of feeding on and off your brakes. It's not to tuck it on the damp patches, but you've got to push hard enough to keep the heat in the tyres. So it took a lot of concentration. You know, so it was good. Yeah, I'm just feeling happy to come out the other side in the lead, and John pushed me all the way. I had like literally plus 0.2, plus 0.1, plus 0.4 was the most I saw. And then, like John said, a massive moment just on the second to last lap going to Hawthorne. My main issue was once the zero started to wear a little bit, going in, engine braking was a little bit too heavy and it kept backing into the corners, which then pushed you off the dry line onto the damp bit. And of course, you can't just try and lean it over more like you would in the dry because it's damp. So I had a massive moment. I just saw this blue thing there and I thought, I'm not losing this race. I'd never live it down with the team. You know, I've not won one all year. The boys have deserved more than one all year, but they at least deserve one. So this is for them boys. And yeah, just while I'm up here, I just want to announce that me and Sarah are expecting our second child next year as well. Totally changed the subject, but absolutely peaking for it. You know, really happy. We've been trying for a while now to give Ryder a little friend. He's too much hard work on his own, so he's got someone to play with now and entertain him. So yeah, big news.